What's going on, people?
Hello, everyone.
How we doing?
Laymen Live, number
Laymen Live.
69,420. I don't know how many we've done now, but we're back. God, it's been a big week.
It has been a massive
giant
week of content. Between Jeff Keighley, little secret low-key boycott of E3.
Oh, yes.
That's what we'll call it, the low-key boycott.
Yes. We're live.
The low-key boycott.
The low-key boycott.
It's
The Roger.
And you had the Outrage reveal yesterday.
Yes.
You know
that
what?
was exceptional, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's talk just briefly about
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Because if everyone missed it, we did a live reaction to the Outriders reveal yesterday.
We got a video about that yesterday. Watch
Check it
afterwards.
out. A great technical support bit at the end as well. Actually, luckily we deleted that off YouTube.
We did, didn't
The
we?
evidence of
Yes.
gone. We had no technical problems whatsoever.
It was all smooth.
As I've looked around and read articles and watched stuff, everyone I've read says that this is good. Like, I haven't read anyone that's like, hey, I played this and it really sucked. You know what I mean? And like some people I actually quite trust were saying that it's good.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, Remnant was probably a good comparison when we were talking about that, because other people have come out and said that, yes, you can look at this and think Remnant might look a bit basic or whatever, or it might be, just trying to copy in some ways or whatever, but when you play it, it's quite good and it's actually quite well put together. Maybe this is going to be similar, you know?
Yeah.
But like, it was a giant meme looking at those menus, though. My God. Guys, if you go and see Destiny's menus and then you go and look at this game's menus, it is shamefully similar. Shamefully similar.
And the UI one you're playing, I was just like, that's the worst UI I've ever seen in any video game ever, like of all time. I mean, I just don't understand how
it looks like what Iron Man might see when he's flying.
Yeah.
There's this shit he has to like monitor. It was too much. There's just too much shit going on. But look, I mean, when it comes out, we'll play it.
Oh, we'll definitely play it. As I said, we're going to
course.
give it a chance. I have heard good things about it. We were very like meh during our reaction, and that's a real thing. Like, we still feel that way. But as I said, a lot of people that played it think it's good. So that's something.
Yeah,
and that gives me hope.
Yeah, especially when they, a 45-minute stream, 40 minutes of it, like legitimately,
Yeah,
was
it was like
cutscenes and like very curated like gameplay that wasn't gameplay. It was just like showing. It was I wanted to see more gameplay. I think a lot of people probably wanted to see more gameplay too.
People think your hair looks terrible and you look like you're sleeping at the office.
That is correct, everybody. After
that is correct.
12 episodes later this week.
Sam's hair looks very messy. Sam's sleeping at the office. I like it.
Guys, this is just
anything else you want to share about this morning, Sam?
I'm just doing the like Jap RPG look.
Anything else you want to share about this morning, Sam? Things you might have done this morning?
Guys, smoking is bad. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
I had one today. We are.
Can you believe this? We went
still on the smoking non-train. But we're coming back.
Sam had his first cigarette today. Was it your first?
No, I've had a few. I've had
a few.
That's
all. That's all.
Look, I mean, I was so sad about the Yang Gang, you see. So Yang Gang 2020 no longer. I just needed
as soon as he announced, you just like,
yeah, I was like, it's over, peeps.
I knew this would happen, man. I knew it.
Yes,
guys.
We're going to continue though, guys. Don't worry. Okay.
We got Phantom Gaming with $5. Love your work, lads.
$5.
Robert Sneed, $20. That's very generous.
Much,
Thank you for the Wilson recommendation. Finally made a live stream. Glad you're enjoying it. Yes, what did we play this week? We played. I played Wilson.
I played Wilson a little bit, but we didn't really.
We tried to do a let's play.
Yeah, we tried 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Look, Wilson's a great game. I really recommend it to you. It's got a lot of problems. It's had a really rocky launch as well. Like a lot of launch issues in terms of like servers not being available, characters being deleted apparently. So watch yourself.
It's a small dev team.
It's a small dev team, 40 people. I really feel for them. Like, I know everyone's like, I get it. Being angry when you can't log into a game you paid for is fair. But at the same time, I think the counterpoint to that is it's a small team. It's their first time doing it. Like, they've made a product. I'm glad that it's successful. I'm glad that they have lots of people trying to log in. And I hope they can sort stuff out quickly. Like TemTem, for example, had massive issues and they worked around the clock to fix it, and it eventually got to a good place.
Gaming apologist right here.
No, I really feel for like, if you're like some giant company like Blizzard or whoever, then you have all the infrastructure, you have all the tools you need to make sure the launch goes well,
and you've got the experience too. You've been doing this for a long time. These obviously are very excited devs that already want to enter the market and kind of compete with Diablo, which is going to come out God knows when. But it looks like they're off to a good start.
For sure. We got Donald here, $15 with his weekly dono.
Thank you, Donald.
Thanks, Donald. He says, I'm gonna head out, work again. I'll be watching your VOD later. Thank you, Donald. We love you, man.
Donald.
Good to see you. Guys, other than that, was
start.
there anything else this week that we played? Bleeding Edge open beta is this week, and it actually kicked off 3 hours ago. You can download that on PC and on Xbox. Check it out. We played at E3 last year, and it was the most fun we played. Most fun thing we played.
It was the most fun we played.
We
and
really loved it.
I do actually. Yeah, it was the one of the most promising games that we played.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands was probably the best game that we played. Actually, at
I think
E3.
Borderlands was the best game
This
overall.
was the most
this
surprising.
was the most fun. Yeah, I think
for
so.
sure.
So,
and does it have a release date yet?
It does actually.
It does.
It's
Is it April?
Maybe it's March, April.
Comments. Let us know how wrong we are. I think it's something around that time, but it's coming out pretty soon. And yeah, it could be interesting.
Tell Sam to ditch the homeless look, says offline.
Do I really look that bad?
Yeah, you do.
Oh my god.
You look like shit. It's because you started smoking again.
Yeah,
you were looking fine before. Now you're going back to
70-year-old man.
the beard is back, the smoking's back.
No, I like the beard.
You're in full hobo mode. Okay,
Anyway.
guys, let's get to some news. This is Laymen Live, where we cover the smaller stories throughout the week that we missed. And the stuff that broke in the last 24 hours hasn't been a huge 24 hours, but there has been one particular story that's quite juicy. But first, let's talk about how many coins were tossed to your Witcher. Turns out that The Witcher 3 sales rose by 500% in the wake of the TV show. Guys, you might not have heard about this, but there's a video game called
edgy.
The
Here we
Witcher.
go. Edgy.
And you might not have heard about this either, but they actually made a TV show on the basis of the books that the game was based on. Now, this is all very low-key stuff. It's, real sort of...
Check it out.
It's hidden indie gem territory,
Definitely.
right? But it turns out
500%. That's not different.
This was actually the most viewed first season of a TV show in Netflix history, with like 76 million households tuning in. And
76 million. 76. It's off to a good start.
It is a magic number.
It really is.
So they said physical sales of The Witcher 3 in December rose by 554% compared to December 2018.
Wow.
According to NBD. It was expected that sales would increase in 2019, regardless of the show, because Witcher 3 came to Switch in October.
Yes.
However, even excluding Switch sales, The Witcher 3 in December rose 63%, according to NPD.
That's pretty cool.
We love you, Witcherino.
We do.
Love you, CD Projekt Red.
Small little trivia. Do you know that the Layman has only ever followed 76 people? Right now, I only have 76 people that I'm following.
I did not know that. That is perfect.
No one's picked that up.
So,
I've been doing that since... Oh, God, I don't know. June, May last year or some shit. It's been a long time, everybody. Now you know. That is what you tune in for Laymen Live. You find out bits and pieces, okay?
So we got Harold with 10 Paladin points. Oh my god, Super Chat's a bad, can't even W. Nice, I like that. That's good. Guys, here's a good story that makes us legitimately very happy.
I couldn't say that.
We've got... what is this one here?
I knew this was going to happen, by the way, guys. Let's be real.
I absolutely saw this coming.
Sonic was always going to be loved by the audience and hated by the critics. For
sure.
And I saw some really mixed reviews about this. Some people saying it's awesome. Some people saying it's just absolute garbage. There was a 20% there just saying it was just utter shit and whatever. Well, they didn't say utter shit.
I've read quite a few reviews. So Sonic right now is sitting at 63%. On the tomato meter, and
which is still fresh.
94% audience score. And as I was reading through some of these reviews, I'm just like, what is it? It's like 99 minutes of ear-splitting tedium that is terrible even by the less impressive standards of most video games based on movies. I'm like, how? I don't understand how you could come to that
Peter
conclusion.
is obviously a boomer and doesn't play games. He doesn't know what Sonic is, you see.
I don't get it. Did you see Yong did a video?
Oh, I did see. I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah,
I did see it come up.
He loved it. He liked it. Like, he didn't say it was like the greatest thing ever, but he definitely enjoyed himself.
Good.
I just don't understand. Someone was saying as well that they took their Valentine's Day to see Sonic.
That's a good idea.
Very romantic.
Okay,
you know what's up.
Later on, if you're really fast, you'd be like, look, it's because we saw the Sonic movie.
That's it. I'll pay that one.
Thank you very
that was
much,
actually
guys.
not a bad one.
Okay.
But look, Sonic movie, we did a review on the channel. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it was super funny. I thought it paid great homage to the characters.
Definitely.
I loved Jim Carrey in it. I liked Cyclops, whose name he has apparently a name.
Yes.
James Marsden. There you go.
Cyclops Marsden. No, I do think that it was just, for me it was a home run. It was exactly what I wanted, and I'm so glad that they did it. And there's going to be a second one because the audience loved it so much. I don't think these movies give a shit about what the tomato meter is. No. I really think they care what the audience score is, right? Or maybe a mixture of both. But it's done very well.
What's the next movie game that we need, Sam?
What's the next movie? Oh, Shaq Fu.
They're doing Space Jam 2, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's LeBron.
Yeah.
Is Shaq going to be in? He's older than now.
No. It's going to be. I think it's LeBron.
No, I know, but I wonder if we're going to see Shaq in it.
Oh, I don't know. He'll probably do a cameo.
Because he was in the first one with Michael Jordan, wasn't he?
I don't
Pretty
remember.
sure.
It's
Anyway,
so long ago.
we don't know.
I've seen it.
But when is that even coming out?
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
When it gets approved by the Chinese Politburo.
Yes. Yeah. So like, is
I'm
there a Winnie the
sure
Pooh in
it's
this?
okay.
No.
So guys, one interesting story that's not quite clear exactly what it means yet, but this is the story. Okay, during Samsung's recent that unboxing, was it called like Unpacked or something?
Unpacked.
Samsung Unpacked. They announced with Microsoft. What was that?
That was
It
my
was the
guitar.
guitar.
Sorry.
They announced that they're going to do a cloud partnership. Samsung and Microsoft are getting into bed to do cloud stuff. It's not really clear though. I mean, this is what it said. It announced it's working with Microsoft on a premium cloud-based game streaming experience.
Yeah.
So they say GameSpot's sister site CNET reported the details on the service were scanned, but Samsung also announced that Forza Street will be coming to Samsung Galaxy devices. The racing game released on PC last year.
How powerful is Forza Street?
I don't know anything about it.
I actually don't know anything about it either. So I was going to say, maybe if it's an extremely powerful game, that really does show that that's going to be...
No, it's a mobile game though.
It is a mobile game? Oh, okay.
I know, I can see in the listing that it's coming to Android, iOS, and PC. I don't know if it's going to be like
a streaming thing.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be like some really basic bitch, like, you know,
mobile
game,
yeah,
or if it's going to be a pretty proper racing game that is also available to play on Android because you're streaming it. I don't know.
I mean, if there was any moment where you could see streaming's going to it has a very good chance of being a thing, it's now. We've potentially got some Amazon announcements in the future. We've got, of course, xCloud, PlayStation Now. We've got, Samsung jumping on. We've got all these. We've got massive companies jumping on to make sure that they're prepared for cloud gaming. But it seems like
this one is weird though.
This isn't overly clear, but there's no other way I think that this is going to be packaged other than it's going to let you play console-looking games, right? What else is going to be streaming experiences?
Well, what I wonder if
for premium.
I wonder if they're actually going to do exclusives, right? Exclusives to Samsung hardware. So, because the way this word is, Forza Street will be coming to Samsung Galaxy devices. I honestly wonder whether or not they will say, yeah, cool, what we're going to do next is you can only play these games if you own a Samsung handset.
Well, we have seen that done with was it Fortnite? They did that for a particular time on Samsung.
No, I think there was like some content that was specific to Samsung devices. I don't think it was all... Oh, maybe you're right, actually.
I think I'm right.
I think you're right about that.
I think it was Samsung, the new Samsung that came out or whatever. You had a limited time that you could play Fortnite. So they've done that before, if we are correct.
Yeah.
And
which we always are.
Which we always are, of course.
Sure.
So that is interesting if they continue down that route. They might have seen a really big success in selling console and selling units, and that's the name of the game.
I really don't want them to do console exclusive to mobile devices. I mean, let's not do that, please. We don't need any more of that shit. Come on now. That's just the whole point of cloud streaming stuff is play anywhere on any device you like. We don't want to be play anywhere on any Samsung device you like. That would be shit.
And one more thing about this is it's interesting to see that Sony and Samsung now are looking to tap into Microsoft's infrastructure, streaming infrastructure.
Yeah.
That means that Microsoft has a lot of power there.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely. They can just be like, yeah, you know what? We kind of want all the market. You guys can piss off. I'm sure there's like some ironclad contracts that are being put in place to make sure that Samsung and Sony has security. But like, it's pretty crazy to see that Microsoft is going to be owning a lot of that technology that they're going to be relying on, especially if streaming becomes a huge thing.
Sure.
It's going to be a big win for Microsoft.
Someone was saying recently, just there in the comments, Borsalino says that xCloud is having its test flight on iOS at the moment, which is true. So right now,
really? Anyone can go on it?
I think it might
Closed?
be limited, yeah.
Okay.
But right now you can do xCloud on Android devices. They're doing testing for iOS at the moment, so that's cool.
I feel like it's the most ahead of the game apart from Stadia. Like that's
Stadia's
coming out.
Obviously amazing.
I mean, that's of course 10 out of 10.
Cutting edge, guys. Super chats. We've got Mr. Bright who says, "Sing for me, Sam. Your voice is like an angel."
Thank you.
Go on, Sam. Sing for us. Nice, that's beautiful,
what you're getting
Sam.
at 7 a.m. in the morning.
That's Mr. Bright. You got ripped off for your $5 there, my friend. He says, Nando's back with 400 Huffington points. He says, what? Live 2 nights in a row. Spoil us. We are back. Yes, Laymen Gaming with Laymen Live doesn't ever skip unless one of us is sick or I have a bad back.
Someone's hurt their back.
So we've got Dark Democracy. I love seeing your channel has evolved with the creativity. The Sonic review is great. Also, I totally enjoyed the Wilson review. I'm going to give it a try. Thank you very much, Dark Democracy. Glad you enjoyed the
Go
Wilson
check out
review.
the Wilson review. It's terrible.
The Sonic review was overrated, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
It really
it's too
didn't
much.
deserve that much of a rap. Menuto with $10 says, I love seeing the thick boys. Hope you guys are well. Pretty mad at you though, Sam. How dare you hide your singing voice from me until when you start posting on your channel?
Yes.
See, sing for us, Sam.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice, that's good. And we've got Jared with $7. You boys are legend. I love waking up to your live streams. Love and respect from the Northern Beaches.
Oh,
Hey.
Northern Beaches.
Nice.
All right.
Respect.
Close and neighbour.
Thank you very much, friend. And we've got 20 Canadian dollars from Orpa Spaniel. He says, my first time supporting you guys. Hilarious commentary. Keep up the great work. You make my week. All the love from Canada. Nice.
Appreciate
Canada's
you, man.
beautiful.
Thank
Been
you
there
so
before.
much.
Loved it. Nandor's back with 400 Huffington points. 2 Aussie spend Valentine's Day on the couch. Actually, Valentine's Day
True. It was yesterday.
So, you know, we're past that now.
Yes.
But yes, happy Valentine's
This
to you.
is the Valentine's Day.
Buy your girl something nice, lads.
Yes, buy them a Laymen merch.
and
That's
la-
what they want.
And ladies, make sure your man buys you something nice,
Yeah,
okay?
that's true. It's only 2% of our audience are female, but
3%, Sam.
is it 3 now? Wow,
Yep.
it's growing.
Kiwi says for $5 or €5, Sam, please rename your YouTube channel to Meme Up. It would be perfect. I agree.
I've been asked to do it shill up or skill down.
Kyle Rouse says $10. Teach us some Aussie slang. Look, Aussie slang is really simple. All you gotta do is abbreviate the word.
Service station? Servos.
So pregnant.
Pregos. A bottle. Shop. Bottle-o.
It sells liquor. Bottle-o.
Bottle-o.
Bondi Junction. Jungo.
Jungo,
That's
yes,
it,
of course. Okay.
So it's really simple.
What's
Just
some really like weird slang that no one would usually get? I'm just trying to think.
I mean, I don't really think we'd have there's all that bullshit the
Oh, crikey? We don't say crikey.
Yeah, no.
I don't know anyone that says, oh, crikey.
No.
And maybe, no, there's no one.
yeah, maybe if we lived on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Like those Fairbairn Films guys. You know those guys? God, they're funny. There's like these two young.
Oh, of course.
So funny.
Yes, of course.
And then we've got Brian says, keep it up with the ever so slightly worse content to Yong. Oh, Brian,
Oof,
man.
hurt me hard.
Only we can make
Truth.
Only we can make the jokes about how bad our content
Yeah.
is compared to Yong.
That's
Come on,
okay.
that cuts us deep.
I think we're going to get one more, and that's just up there, number the $20 one.
A
little bit, there it is.
$20 from Clint Flippo.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, my dudes.
Thank you.
I like it because it's not Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Somewhere.
It's
No, it's not.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
In some other universe.
Nice.
So,
okay, guys, let's keep moving with the news now. Activision Blizzard has pulled its games from GeForce Now. Speaking of streaming and cloud stuff, rumors suggest they'll be headed to Nvidia's cloud gaming rival, Google Stadia. So let's unpack this.
Yeah, I don't
now,
know about
as you know, GeForce Now came out of beta this week. And it's apparently very good. It's not available in Australia yet, so we can't test it. But, TLDR, it's a service that basically looks at what you have already purchased and it lets you stream it. So you don't need to buy the game again like you do with Stadia. If you have a game on Steam and it's also available on this service, GeForce Now, then you will be able to play it. Very positive feedback from people so far, etc. It's got a few hundred games on there, I think.
I mean, that's a decent amount.
It's a very chunky, it's
really
for a first showing.
And it
I mean,
has
that's a good
access to
outcome.
BattleNet and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it did have access to BattleNet.
That's true.
Now it doesn't. So it's nice lead on that one.
Anyway,
Saying
I thought it
Activision
was
Blizzard
nice.
has pulled its games from GeForce Now, saying that, we don't want them on there. And then GeForce just said, look, the reason it's been pulled is because they asked us to. And, there's lots of other games you can play. Enjoy those.
Yeah.
So obviously, at this point, a lot of people still play Blizzard games for some reason.
Especially Warcraft Reforged.
they're
Definitely
very
worth
disappointing.
tuning in for. But, look, they're hinting here that it is going to go onto Google Stadia.
Yeah, but
Now,
I really question this because recently there was a deal signed between Google and Activision about cloud infrastructure, and they're working together on esports and cloud.
Yep.
There was no mention of Stadia within that whatsoever, so therefore it's like, well, why not? I feel like that was the opportunity for them to say loud and proud, we are going to be working together. They mentioned the Stadia thing there. My guess is that this is actually going to go over to Amazon's streaming service, which will be released later this year.
Look, it makes sense now if I look... as we look back, we did an episode on the fact that it was not kind of written into the contract or not written into the agreement or whatever, and it was very strange that they've done that. Now maybe there's one of two things, I reckon. Activision and Blizzard, I mean, they're big enough. Would they do their own streaming thing? Maybe, but I don't think there's enough IP there.
No.
I don't think there's enough IP there.
I don't think so, but you make an interesting point, and this leads to our next story.
Well, you're not going to finish with my... I want to finish my point.
All right, go
quickly.
on, finish your point.
And
I'll allow it.
I feel like it's actually going to end up with it could end up on Amazon, but now looking at this, it could very well end up on Stadia because maybe it just wasn't written into that contract, but they just needed to do a few things behind the scenes to get it ready to go into Stadia.
Potentially.
Who knows?
Potentially. One other follow-up story that just came out this morning was that Nvidia blames misunderstanding for Activision faux pas, right? This is what it says, that Nvidia said on Tuesday that Activision had asked to have its titles removed from GeForce and didn't explain why. Turns out that the video game giant wanted a commercial agreement with Nvidia before they proceeded, and the situation stemmed from a simple misunderstanding, Nvidia said on Thursday. So, what we can infer from this is that GeForce Now doesn't actually have any agreements in place with any of the games that it, streams, and it also charges for this service.
Well, at least with Blizzard and Activision, they don't have an agreement.
Well, I'm going to guess they don't have an agreement with anyone, because if they don't have one with the likes of Activision and Blizzard, they probably don't have one with smaller titles, smaller publishers, whatever. So, they're making money from this, right? Nvidia is making money from this service. They charge for it, and they're essentially charging to they're making money off, Activision's work, etc., because if you're able to play one of their games on their service, and so I actually understand why Activision would want to get paid on that. That does actually make sense to me.
Well,
right?
I don't know about that, because I feel like, look, if you're actually if people have to still buy the game, and then they have to stream it through another platform, you're still getting access to a bigger market or a market that wants to ride the bus to work and play or whatever, right?
I get that, but at the same time, company's going to company, and like shareholders are going to be like, hey man, there's a chance for us to make $1 here, and if you're going to stream this service and make profit, then we want X amount of percentage of the revenue for that thing, because we're attracting users to your platform, you're making money off our work. I can understand that. Like, as much as we like to dump on Activision and whatever else and whatever, this does sound like one instance where I'm like, well, they probably have a point here, and they could probably put their hand out and ask for something.
Well, I'm sure, but I wonder how big GeForce is going to get. I don't know how big the player base has already been now, but like with Steam, for instance, I'm sure Activision, like Steam takes a cut of theirs because they've got the marketplace, they've got the actual infrastructure for that, you know what I mean? So I see your point. Maybe GeForce isn't big enough yet, or maybe it is big enough to justify them not actually having to charge for Activision, but who knows?
It's pronounced Nvidia, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Nvidia.
I still don't know.
Nvidia.
Nvidia.
The comment section is being very clear about this, so they definitely believe it's Nvidia. So.
Nvidia. Okay. It's pronounced 420. Okay.
It's pronounced 420. So, guys, our top story for today.
Is this the thumbnail?
This is the thumbnail.
Okay, this is the thumbnail.
Okay, so
expensive components drive PS5 production cost to $450 per unit. So, look, to be honest, I don't know what the other consoles cost back in the day. I mean, I'm gonna guess it would have cost a pretty penny to make those, and they do run at a loss, a lot of these consoles, because they want to sell the games, right? They want to get these consoles into people's hands, and then you buy the games and they make their money back that way. But $450 per unit US, that's a lot. In Australia, PS4, when it released, what was $500 or something? It was a decent amount.
PS4 in Australia?
Yeah.
I feel like it was actually...
It wasn't $1,000 like PS3
No,
was.
that was a joke. I think it was actually like $4.99, maybe $5.99. I think it was $4.99 Australian. Maybe.
Sure. So
that can't be right. It sounds low.
That does sound low.
I don't know. I actually don't remember. It's so long ago now. What, 7 years now?
Yeah, long. But the point I'm trying to make is like there's I mean when you convert it to Australian dollars, there's obviously not a lot of money to be made in this in these anyway. But they're waiting, it looks like, to see what Xbox Series 1 X does.
Yeah. So they've been very clear that they are not going to announce their pricing until Xbox does. Now,
Xbox is like, well, we're not going to announce it until you do it. Holiday 2020. Well, we're bringing it out and it's free.
That's right. How about that?
What happens
Take that,
there?
Sony.
So weird.
Checkmate, Phil Spencer. So look, they've been very clear that they are not going to announce a price point until Xbox does. Xbox has to come out the gate with a price first because they have E3 coming up. And that's going to be the moment where, like, we learn everything about the Series X. So, I mean, we're going to have a PlayStation 5 reveal at some point. We know that as well. We don't know when that is. It's rumored to be sometime in February. It was rumored to be, like, 15th of February, but obviously that's not happening because that's today. Or, like, yes, tomorrow for you Americans or what have you. But, yeah, so it's not happening. I just really wonder what the heck, where they're going to land on this, because they could say, cool, we're going to sell it at $450 and make a loss and be really competitive, or we're going to sell it at $499 and we still make a little bit of money on it. They could do it at $399 and go completely like, that's it, man, we need to drive units, we need to crush Xbox, in the into dust at the very start of it. We'll take a huge loss on the console sales, but we'll make it up later at the back end. It's interesting.
It is.
Like it's not clear from this what the price is going to be, but it does give us like an anchor point.
Sure.
We can look at it from either way.
I feel like the trend this console generation is, especially when we've seen the patents filed for PlayStation for multiple backwards compatibility, and Xbox coming out saying, guys, we're going to make sure that you guys can play all the games the next 2 years at least on both consoles. So I don't know if there's going to be a giant drive for a lot of consumers that don't have the money initially to jump on here and buy this. And if it's going to be if it's going to be expensive, like that's going to be even harder to justify that. You know what I'm saying? So, given how many things are coming to the surface in terms of the current games that are working on the current games that I worked on for our gen and next gen, it doesn't seem like there's a huge demand for these consoles anyway. And we've seen developers come out.
Did you just say that there's not a huge demand for next gen consoles?
No, in terms of there's all the games that we're wanting to play are gonna be on the current gen anyway.
Yeah, but people always want to buy the next gen console.
And with the developer, remember that little article that we saw breaking down the developers who are working on next gen and who are working on current gen?
Sure.
The major majority of developers are working on current gen and new gen. Only 5% were working on next gen. So I don't believe that there's a gigantic floodgate that's going to open of new games that are going to like, oh my god, I need to jump on this straight away. So if this comes out extremely expensive, that's my point.
You do make an interesting point. For once.
Thank you.
For once.
We got there.
Because according to Bloomberg, however, by the way, Bloomberg is spamming advertising in America all the time at the moment. So now whenever anyone sees the name Bloomberg, they're going to think, not another ad from Bloomberg.
What kind of
blanketing
ads?
American Airways with political ads.
Of course.
Yes. So when you see Bloomberg, it's not about his presidential campaign. It's not like he's taking time
Little
out
Bloomberg,
talking about like.
Isn't that what Trump calls him, Little Bloomberg or something?
Anyway, Bloomberg's news organization said Sony executives expect a longer transition into next gen. With over 100 million PS4 units sold, Sony will also be launching many titles across both new and old platforms. So the point here is, I think, similar to what you're saying, that is that maybe they can charge at a premium for PlayStation 5, because I think, look, it's going to take time for people to move over anyway. We can make some money on the early adopters who are super keen, and then as we aim to get more and more people onto newer like next gen, we can lower that price point from there. That could work as well.
My point actually was if they make it expensive, it's going to be even harder to make those sales, because at the moment, compared to previous console generations where it felt like there was a lot of cool games to potentially jump on for, it doesn't seem like that's the trend now.
Now, I don't agree. Again, I don't agree, because like if you look at last gen like launch titles for games, or even the first year, every console generation is the same. There's like basically nothing worth playing in the first
there's always
year, except for Breath of the Wild with Switch. That was
enough,
like
to jump on. But like, there's always one or two like, oh my god, I must have that. You know, that's what they usually do.
No, there's really not. Like as I said, if you look back at consoles, okay, Halo had Xbox had Halo.
Yep.
Switch had Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
They're like the two must-own games that launched with consoles, like ever. Seriously.
PlayStation had what? I don't know.
Ridge Racer.
I don't know.
So look, that's it. Look, it's an interesting discussion to be had. We're not going to know the final price of PS5 until Xbox release their price point. I guess it's going to be competitive. And Cheeto with $50. Thank you very much, my friend.
That's a pretty cool
a little
gift,
emoji
actually.
going there.
Thank you very much.
But that's the thing. We'll keep you posted on that.
That's
we're going to hear the actual price of the Series X at E3, and we'll be able to speculate based on that. So
yes. Speaking of speculation, which doesn't tie in at all,
Half-Life.
Not at all. Alex has a release date. March 23rd, 2020. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty surprised that it's so soon. Actually, I feel like release dates are usually given, and then like it's at least a 6-month window. To give it like 5 weeks, like nothing.
Well, they've actually said that they only want to release the release date or announce the release date
when they're ready,
when it's ready to ship,
when they go gold.
And they were already feeling very confident that it wouldn't slip, and it turns out that's the case. So there we go. That's it. And you can't really buy the Index at the moment. The Valve headset is completely sold out for like months. You could probably still get the Rift. There's other the Rift S, the Oculus. There's other headsets as well.
Is this going to work on the Quest?
No, not on the Quest.
Okay, cool.
No, it only will work.
We both got a Rift.
We have to plug your thing into the computer to do it. So we'll do a Let's Play on that, because it'll be fun.
That will be fun. And I think that we've seen before now a few games come out that give you what was the God of War one that you did? Like a full experience that you want to finish an entire game.
Yeah.
But they're rare. You know, like a lot of the time when you are jumping on VR, it's kind of like a gimmicky game, or maybe Beat Saber. It's a bit of fun for 25 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But we are seeing more and more games come out now
Sure.
that are, fully fledged games. And it looks like if Half-Life Alyx can be a fully fledged game and can get people on board, I can't think of another game that has the potential to make the VR market more...
it'll explode the VR market.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, look, it's going to definitely have a big, like, temporary boost. Whether that translates into a sustained boost is unclear.
I think it does, because
I
think because once you sell these console units, you then have a bigger player base to
sure.
make each developer more attracted to putting money into development of new games. So that's I think that is the problem right now. Not a lot of people own these, but now if it's selling out, then we have a chance of seeing other cool games in the future.
That's right. Nandor with 1,000 Huffington points says, well, WoW had no mod support for GeForce Now, so it was pointless to play it there anyway to begin with, and besides, it only had HOTS and Heroes and Hearthstone.
Oh, it didn't have a Overwatch? I saw Overwatch in the ads.
I saw that Overwatch was on it, but I could be wrong. Anyway,
maybe not.
Brian McNulty says, what are your thoughts on the recent KOTOR remake rumor? I've heard about it.
Think of, the
Y. I obviously would love to see it happen. I don't really know much more beyond the idea that it's rumored. Yeah, man, just remake it. Don't mess with the story. Just remake it. That's it. By the way, Drew Karpathian, one of the lead writers of the Mass Effect series, one of the best writers who ever worked in video games, just took a new job at the Wizards of the Coast studio.
I don't know what that is.
Like Pathfinder stuff. Basically, he's writing RPGs once again. He's employed by a studio, which is fantastic because he's had a long time between like big gigs. And anyway, go check it out.
They should just call it Mass Effect Reforged, I think.
I think that's a really good name now.
Animations. Just fix the animations.
That's it.
And cutscenes. Remastered cutscenes.
Robert Seed for $5 said, PlayStation 3 was $5.99 at launch and they sold like hotcakes. They aren't concerned. Well, that's true. But at the same time, Sony does look back on the launch price of the PS3 as a moment of hubris. They described it as that themselves, of abject hubris. And I mean, even
but they lost that generation.
They definitely lost the early part of that generation, for sure.
And 360, I feel like the whole generation won that.
It did.
Yeah.
But PS3 definitely came back eventually after they lowered the price. But it really, really hurt them at the begining.
Yeah.
So don't forget Knack on PS4 system seller right there. That's true. Thank you very much.
I would buy
Zeitgeist. And Drake asked, what did you get your respective girlfriends for Valentine's Day? $5. Sam, what did you do?
I actually didn't. I'm maybe a bad boyfriend. I didn't get her anything. I just took her to an extremely. I didn't expect it to be as expensive as I got the bill. I'm like, what? Happy Valentine's! Like that's what I did.
Nice.
So. She got me Peter Alexander stuff, she got me Darth Vader pajamas. That's pretty cool.
That's cute.
Yeah, very cool.
I got my wife a nice bunch of flowers.
That's nice. You know, that's very nice.
So anyway, let's get back to the news. Which one? Oh yeah, this is kind of interesting. Turns out there's going to be a new Call of Duty Battle Royale. Mode.
Now, I didn't actually...
Have you seen the Final Fantasy VII remake?
I haven't yet.
Trailer?
I saw it on Twitter. I have to watch it.
I think we have to watch it at the end of this. I watched it when I went.
It might get copyright striked.
I'm thinking it will get copyright striked. I'd
rather not do that.
Here's the thing, right? This is the honest truth. If we watch that trailer live and react to it, this entire video that we've done gets demonetized from YouTube.
That's why I love YouTube. You know, it's so
annoying.
Good.
So what we could do is we could end this stream and then immediately restart another one. Right?
Okay.
And just react to the thing, and we'll have it unlisted on the channel, but everyone can stick around and watch it. We'll do that.
And
okay?
see
Let's
if
do that.
And if it doesn't get demonetized, we'll just leave it up.
It's such an amazing intro. It's so beautiful.
I get goosebumps. Final Fantasy VII for me, I finished that like 4 or 5 times. Like it's tiny compared to the amount of people that love it.
I played Final Fantasy VII Remake 3. I can't say anything about it yet because I'm under NDA. I played 3 hours of Final Fantasy VII Remake this week. Can't say anything about it yet.
I can't believe Squall's in it.
But I am dying to talk about this. Like, that's all I'll say. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'm dying to talk about this.
Maybe he's already told me.
Yeah.
You know, under NDA, he hasn't told me anything.
I can't even tell you when the NDA expires, they've said, by the way.
Really?
I'll leave it to but look, you'll hear about it soonish.
Okay.
Guys, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Battle Royale seemingly discovered.
I didn't even know this was Battle Royale, of course, is a super thing. I didn't know if the Call of Duty Battle Royale is extremely healthy or if it's lackluster in players, because I haven't really tuned in recently for Call of Duty. Is the Battle Royale scene in Call of Duty giant?
In what? Call of Duty Giant?
No, is the Battle Royale scene, like the player base, giant in Call of Duty?
Oh, well, no, because there's no Battle
Oh,
Royale
I'm thinking of the
map now.
previous one.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I mean, the previous one did have that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the previous one.
I think that's dead now. I don't know. I haven't looked at that community at all.
Yes.
But, you know, obviously what happens with Call of Duty games is that everyone moves on to the next thing,
Like
the
FIFA
new
19.
hotness or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So now they didn't have a Battle Royale map. Turns out that they probably do. It's been leaked. There's been there's an option in the menu for Battle Royale, and also, what's it called? Prestige, YouTuber Prestige is Key. Managed to somehow look at the map. He said
How did he do that?
He said that a cinematic seems to have been found inside the game. He claims you can find it by starting a private match on the Atlas Superstore map and switching to the Codcaster Spectator mode.
Interesting.
Hey man, good find.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he says you can view the whole map and that's it. So,
well, let's click on the bottom right one. We can see the entire one. Oh wait, can you click it on there?
That'll fuck it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So look, that's cool. I would be interested in that. I actually enjoed Blackout.
I thought it was quite cool.
Mod mode. It's been good to see, can I say, this new Call of Duty has had a good run, right? It didn't have loot boxes. They had a different monetization model. I don't know the details of the monetization. I don't know if they are scamming you. I have not paid attention to it recently.
Is there any red dots? That's what I wanna know.
All I know is that the campaign was pretty solid, and the multiplayer, a lot of people really love it, and the game has been doing well. It's been maintaining good momentum. So I don't know all the details. Maybe COD bad still. I don't know.
COD always bad, but I mean,
but it's good to see that it seemed to be having a bit more momentum. And if they do Battle Royale, I'd be interested to check that out. I would.
Yeah, when we played the campaign, I thought it was exceptional. Especially, well, I mean, some bits were exceptional. Especially that.
The Going Dark mission.
Going Dark was just like,
what a mission!
Wow, I've never seen a game look more realistic.
It was fantastic.
And the tension of it all, and I mean, I can't believe you said it was only 3 levels, right?
It was only 3 story
I felt
house,
like it was like a 25-minute mission with like 20 different levels. It just felt so. It was just so well done. So that was a really job well done for Call of Duty, and it shows the actual potential of what they can do in the future with it. You know? So anyway, that's it.
Did you see the new Robert Pattinson Batman stuff?
I mean, it was very descriptive. I thought.
This actually, you can see in one of the ads here. You can see the suit, and you can see like a bit of the actual footage of him. I mean, I was so hostile to the idea of Robert Pattinson. I was like, no, can't do this. But now that I think about it and I see some images, I'm like, maybe it would be an interesting take on Batman.
I think it's because I haven't tuned into Robert. Like, I didn't know Robert Pattinson's journey.
Apparently, he's got some good acting chops.
That's right.
I only knew him as the Twilight dude. That was it.
I haven't seen Lighthouse. I haven't seen anything. So I have to sit there and give that a chance.
For sure. Maybe you could cover it on your new channel.
Oh,
Sam.
that's a good idea.
That's a great segue.
That's a very good idea.
So yes. Anyway, guys, speaking of shooters. First details on Riot's new shooter, Project A, emerged from Counter-Strike Pro. Now, some of you may not know, but they are actually working on a number of games over at Riot. They just released Legends of Runeterra, very good card game, by the way, which I feel like is getting overlooked big time, but it's actually great. And now they've got details on their new shooter. We saw some very brief gameplay of this earlier, which literally like maybe 10 seconds of gameplay.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the details that we got here are from Henry G, who is a Counter-Strike commentator. Played some of the game, and he had a thread that was basically saying that, look, it's looking good. You know, it's real snappy, fast time to kill. It's, you know, one-shot headshot. Your abilities kind of have to be purchased at the start of a round.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like spam abilities like Overwatch is, where it's kind of over and over again. They're meant to be on quite long timers and quite impactful.
Overwatch is not spammy, but anyway.
You don't think Overwatch is spammy in terms of abilities?
Absolutely not.
Okay, how often are you using your abilities on Reinhardt? Like, how often are you putting your shield up?
Yeah, but that
that's an ability.
But that's not spammy. Well, you're saying it's spammy.
No, I'm saying
that's
like,
another
you
discussion.
got to choose your moments with regards to when you use your ability. That's my point.
Sure.
Okay. Overwatch bad. Overwatch sucks. Worst game ever.
I know what he's talking about. Anyway, so continue.
Terrible game. So anyway, look, that's coming. He had good things to say about it. I don't think he had any obligation to say anything good about it. He played it. He could have just not said anything.
Might have got paid $1 million. Never know. No, he probably didn't. But like, I think, look, they're definitely wanting to make sure that they invest in esports games. You know, like they really want to compete with Counter-Strike. Riot's already.
They love esports stuff.
They love esports, and they've had the biggest win ever by making League of Legends like the biggest esport ever, right? So. I mean, this could land really well. They've got a gigantic player base already. So a lot of people will jump on and give this a chance. And a lot of the Counter-Strike people might also give this a chance, you know? So if it lands really well, I mean, Counter-Strike might be in trouble. Who knows? You know.
I mean, no, because Counter-Strike literally just had its highest concurrent player base ever the other day. Like
Because there's no one really
900,000
competing with, like, you know, like
I mean,
Counter-Strike's
that's
such
not
a
true.
baby.
No, Rainbow Six is out. You've got
That's a different thing entirely, though.
I mean, yeah, you've got like Escape from Tarkov. You got armor mods. You got heaps of shit, man. Like, there's lots of stuff that competes with. If you
Even
want
Call of Duty's a different thing too. Like Counter-Strike is its own baby, and it's been like around for like what 20 years now, and it's like it's just been able to retain its own identity, and no one else can touch it. So what I'm saying is maybe Riot can come along and be like, we want to compete with Counter-Strike, and if they have big enough momentum, you know, it could really take a giant portion of those people that have been playing Counter-Strike for a number of years, and they start playing this new game. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe not.
So next story.
There's actually some super chats that we haven't covered for a little bit. Let's get to those quickly.
Yes.
Let's do. That was the call about the. Hey Laymen, Wilson playing Wilson and finally catching the live stream live. Thank you very much, Dustin, for $10. Very generous, my friend. We're gonna react to the trailer. Yes. New consoles often sold at a loss, says Eric, and made on software. Yes,
totally.
And Olaf here says for €20, that's very generous, friend. Thank you. Long time, no super chat. Thanks for all the shows in 2020 so far. Also, I like Sam's new YouTube channel. Sam has a new movie reviews YouTube channel.
Check it out.
We'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out. Sam Astor it's
Yes.
called. And he has some singing on there as well.
Maybe.
So if you really hate your eardrums and you want them to suffer, go and check that out.
I've seen some comments like, is this, they're like, I still don't know if these are just a big hoax, like me singing, like I must be memeing or something.
Yeah.
It's me, everybody, and it's not a joke. Okay?
There you go.
I have a sensitive side, believe it or not.
All
right,
someone says,
we'll do one more.
what are your thoughts on, says for $5, says Sam, your editing skills are actually pretty on point. Maybe you should try movie editing on the side.
Oh, I think I saw your comment earlier today. Maybe. Thank you. I appreciate that.
If they need a meme movie, then Sam's your guy.
They do that emoji movie. Oh,
that's true. That's your future, Sam. You could,
God, I hope
make
not.
emoji too. Hey, did you know Ronda Rousey has an exclusive video game streaming deal on Facebook Gaming? What the fuck is this timeline? Okay, you know what she's streaming first up? Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Is she? But she's doing something for bushfires, which is cool.
That's cool.
So look, look, you know, Ronda Rousey's cool. Whatever. I don't really follow her, but it's in terms of there seems to be more and more of this movement to getting celebrities into gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, any celebrity, I don't care who you are. I'm sure you're very cool, but it's more like, that's just such a different landscape it's becoming. It used to be like, a kid in his room, and he used to like just be in touch with the gamers, and he used to like just have a chat. Now it's like Will Smith,
Will Smith,
or Pootie Shoe, you know, all these different. It's just it's very different from how it used to be.
Yeah, I agree, and I think even stuff like E3, where Jeff Keighley's recently said he's not happy with the direction of it, they've made very clear that they want to have lots more celebrities at the show, and they want it to be like an experiential thing with esports stars and celebrities and whatever. I don't like that idea.
I think I don't like
at
it.
all.
I think I'm maybe a little bit like about it, because I feel like I don't want a game to be sold to me because of the celebrity. I want it to be about this game is good. I want anyone can be playing it. It's about showing what the gameplay is. Hooking it to like some likable celebrity, I think it's just some marketing ploy.
I think that like the weakest moment of the Game Awards, for example, was when Vin Diesel got up on stage at the very end and like, you know,
and and his co-star, I don't know what her name is.
I didn't say that, but they promoted their movie and whatever, and you're like, look, I mean, I like the Game Awards overall. I'm glad they exist. I'm always very glad that event exists to celebrate video games, but at the same time, there were some low moments. That was the lowest moment, because it's like that was the very end of the show, and it was kind of taken from gamers.
Yes.
And Vin Diesel's a gamer. Don't get me wrong, but like that was to promote his movie or whatever. And the game, that crappy looking game. Remember that? It looked like a PS3 game, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but then he looks to her. He's like, "Where were our people?" And she's like, "Yeah, I used to play Street Fighter." For me, I was like, oh yeah, cool. You know, you've played thousands of hours of Street Fighter. No, but like, there's nothing wrong with them jumping into our community and like, you know, trying to, you know, be part of it.
Sure, but I don't want celebrities to take it over.
But I did feel like that was a moment where they were trying to like plug a movie, you know, yeah, I don't know, I'm not really vibing it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think everyone was a little bit worried. This is another story that E3 is obviously in decline at the moment.
What are you talking about? We've got EA there, you know. Sony for the second year in a row, they're going to be there. That's all I've got.
Actually, nice. Well, actually, there was a release yesterday of a list of people or publishers attending E3, And funnily enough, Nintendo...
And that's been taken down now, by the way. You can't see it now.
Nintendo was actually not on that list, and everyone was kind of freaking out, like, what the fuck, is Nintendo not going to be there?
Xbox wasn't on it either.
Yeah, but they're across the road at the Microsoft Theatre, so everyone knew they would be there, but no one really knew how. Turns out that it was a bit of a false alarm. Nintendo will definitely be at E3 2020. That's it, really. I mean, it's still there, but yeah, like, the list of attendees gets smaller every year. The structure of the event, the format doesn't sound great. Jeff Keighley pulling out, making a stand against it. Yeah, man, I don't know. The problem is the ESA runs this thing. And if you know anything about the ESA, you know it is the most garbage organization on the planet. They are constantly lobbying for like more loot boxes and anti-consumer garbage. They have no interest in actual video games. They're just interested in all the publisher monetization garbage.
And that Chris Lee moment, you know, when Chris Lee was actually interviewing that ESA guy.
Oh, that ESA guy had no idea. That Hawaiian politician was interviewing the ESA person, and the guy was just like, oh man, that was bad.
It was a bad moment for the ESA. But it just shows that, I hear you. I think that, you know, the ESA and Jeff Keighley may just have different philosophies of how they want the gaming space to move forward, you know. We have seen, you're right, they are lobbying for all sorts of things that a lot of gamers don't agree with. Maybe Jeff is like, you know what, guys, I'm just not going to side with you anymore. Again, we don't know anything about why Jeff has stepped aside. I don't think he's come out with anything more, has he?
I don't think so.
So we're still sitting here all speculating why he's done this sharp shift away from E3. But who knows?
Yep.
Who knows?
Eric Parlin says $2.99 was a mistake. You guys deserve more. Thank you for the great content.
Thank
you, Eric. We appreciate you.
$2.99 would have been enough. I would have appreciated that anyway.
And yeah, Practical Bro for 100. I don't know what that currency is. It looks like a squiggly line.
It looks
with
like a
thing.
Witcher mark.
It looks like a logo of a super. I don't know. It looks cool though.
Looks
okay,
cool.
Let's say he says Untitled Goose Game won Game of the Year at the DICE Awards.
Really?
And even House, I think that House, the dev were like, what the fuck? Like, okay, listen, great meme. Untitled Goose Game, really good meme. Everyone loved it. Ha ha ha! Great. Game of the Year? No, fuck off. That's ridiculous.
That was them trying to look cool and edgy.
I mean, why? Like, really? That's stupidity. Like, anyway, look, there were so many amazing games last year, and Untitled Goose Game was a good gag. But to call that like the pinnacle of the medium, like, come on, now, this is ridiculous. Anyway, that's the DICE Awards.
Definitely Death Stranding, am I right, folks?
Brian Hurley, $5 says finally getting to check out Wilson, and it's great despite a few bugs. Great call. You definitely need to check out Grim Dawn. Yes, definitely. I played a little bit of Grim Dawn, but not a huge amount. And that's all the super chats. Let's get back to the news. Turns out that good old Need for Speed is coming home. It's the development of Need for Speed is moving back to Criterion.
I love the top tired out.
Nice.
I think I'm not. I
remember how they made Burnout?
Yeah, but I can't remember the last time I really played Need for Speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's been so long since I felt like it was like
an awesome franchise you had to play.
That's something that I was really interested in, and it was like in the headlines of things people were talking about. So cool. I mean, is this an attempt to bring this back into a development house that's going to do something more interesting with it? I don't know, but Burnout was awesome.
Burnout was amazing.
Burnout was
the intersection things. God, that was so good. Did that so many hours just crashing into an intersection,
and like it was such a simple thing to put in, just like slow mo crash. Yeah, but like it was so effective. Yeah, but, you know, maybe they'll do that with Need for Speed.
So look,
Need for Slowdown.
Yeah, they actually recently worked on Ghost Games was the previous developer. Developed the last 4 titles in the Need for Speed franchise, including Need for Speed Rivals. Payback.
Who owns Need for Speed? Who made those calls? EA did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need for Speed Heat. Criterion, meanwhile, is known for creating the Burnout series and previously developed both Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Most Wanted. Two of the
I think Hot Pursuit was the last one I played.
Nothing beats Underground, though, man.
That was the best.
That was
RPG
so good.
Elements and stuff. I mean, so
Underground.
satisfying to get like the thing that you can go on the side of your car and drive through things and shit. It had like a Metroidvania style because you can only get to certain areas once you got the tilt and shit. It was a great game, and like they should do that again.
Great.
I reckon I would play that.
I would honestly play it. I would play the car RPG again. They don't have car RPGs anymore.
That's actually really cool.
They have like, you know, obviously Forza with huge amounts of customization, whatever. But I just want a car RPG where it's like you start out with some shitty sloppy jalopy, and then you tweak it out, and you get
connected to the car.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yes. Do you know what I mean? That was super cool.
Yes.
I love that shit.
They could do that with a Transformers game. That'd be kind of cool. You have to rebuild.
Apparently, this Transformers game that was made was amazing. I forget,
really?
Was it
as good as the last Transformers movies?
Right? Oh, I forget. Was it? No, but apparently Bumblebee was really good as well.
I heard that. Wow, we didn't see that. Anyway.
Guys, System Shock 3, it's been
Yeah, I actually didn't know.
smashed.
I remember when you told me this. I actually don't know much about this
System
game.
Shock 3, System Shock was kind of the original immersive sim that kind of kicked off that genre of like very sort of systemic gameplay that allowed the player a lot of agency to solve problems in a variety of ways. Very, very influential title. Very influential. And then, System Shock 2. System Shock 3 is like, it's been, obviously decades since System Shock 2. It was going to be made. It turns out the development team is no longer working on it. They were critically behind. They were making a different game, it seems. Like, they had a plan for a smaller scoped game that had different stuff. And, so they said if Starbreeze hadn't gone into crisis, I think we would have delivered something interesting with some fresh and innovative gameplay, but a much smaller game than what people were expecting and inevitably disappointing for such a beloved franchise. So, yeah, that's it. If you were looking forward to System Shock 3, don't look forward to it anymore. It's not coming.
Don't look forward to it anymore.
It's not coming.
We've got 10 minutes left, actually.
Speaking of Starbreeze, actually, it turns out that a former CFO of Starbreeze has just been smashed for insider trading. So Starbreeze, Swedish, they said the former chief financial officer has been convicted of gross insider crimes after an investigation by Swedish authorities. His name is Sebastian Ulskog. And turns out that he knew that Starbreeze was about to go into like a voluntary administration, and he ended up dumping all his shares before that happened, so that he could like essentially save himself $70,000 in losses. He was caught, and now
which is
he's
nothing
in
for a
trouble.
CEO, right? Like 70.
Well, CFO, and it's not a huge company. It's whatever.
Okay, fine. It's a sizable chunk, but like, how dumb do you have to be like, you're just about to go into like administration, and then you sell all your shares?
Yeah.
Of course you knew that shit was
gonna
going
get,
down.
Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like,
oh god.
Anyway, Starbreeze has obviously been in the news for a lot of reasons, and yeah. Anyway, that's that.
Speaking of Starbreeze, another Star Citizen. What's going on with Star Citizen?
They just had their record-breaking funding round, and they continue to make more money from people.
It's the first gaming cult.
Is anyone here in our chat giving more money to this game? I don't understand.
Honestly, it's the first gaming cult.
Like, how are you
This is
still thinking, okay, after this many years, and like literally over $250 million given to these guys, and there's still no game that exists that you can buy, how are people thinking, you know what? I'm going to give them some more cash. That's a good idea. Like, I don't understand how that works.
It doesn't make sense.
I've seen the gameplay. I've seen the thing. It's impressive technology, but enough's enough, man. That's fucking nuts.
I mean, I don't think it's like 7 years now, right? It's forever.
I think at least that,
I think it started in 2013. I think
something like
that.
So.
I mean, we love the leader. Like, it honestly feels like there's some cultish thing going on, and people are just buying the snake oil. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we've also got news today about how much Sony paid for Insomniac. Remember how Sony recently bought Insomniac? They're the guys
just
that made...
after Spider-Man came out, wasn't it?
Not just after, a little while after.
Sure, but they obviously saw the success and saw the value in that company.
Yeah, they did. It was a fantastic game. Insomniac have been making great games for a long time. That's it. So, the filing reveals acquisition cost of Ratchet & Clank and Marvel Spider-Man developer in majority cash deal. They paid $229 million for it. Sounds like a bargain to me, can I say? Given the quality these guys have churned out for that long.
I'm just trying to think. So they did Spider-Man, and I know that they've done heaps of stuff
Ratchet
before. Ratchet and Clank, sorry. Yeah. And then what else have they done?
They did. Did they do Slide?
Slide
their game as well.
Insomniac's been around for a long time.
I think it is, but
I feel like, is that a bargain? Is that US dollars? Look, so that's like 500 million
when you make a game
Aussie.
The quality of both Ratchet & Clank and Spider-Man. Spider-Man was exceptional. I feel like, yes, you're going to make a lot of money from these guys over the future. Definitely. If you can protect what you've got there, the culture, the developers, etc. So, man, it's a good investment.
And is this their first major move that we've seen them starting to buy up IP? Because Xbox has been on this like rampage of just buying as many IP, as many studios as possible, and maybe this is Sony's response to that. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
So, guys, the other thing that happened while we were speaking about VR earlier in the episode, Phil Spencer has come out and he has clarified his controversial statements with regards to VR. You might remember a few weeks back he came out and he said that VR he's not really seeing the demand for it, and that they're focused on other things. A lot of people were sort of like, hey man, is that quite true? Like, there is demand for it. What about that? He's kind of clarified those comments here on a podcast he was doing. He said that this is the Gamertag Radio podcast. He said, I probably overstated, Spencer said. For the people who love VR and the experiences that are built for them, no disrespect to any of the teams here. My main point was I wanted to be clear with our customers and where our focus was. If somebody was waiting for us to bring a headset for Series X at launch, I was just trying to say we're not going to do that.
Sure.
He says, we're never going to close our eyes as to where things are going. I don't hope it goes away. I hope it gets bigger. I hope it's something that's just so important that it'd be a no-brainer for us to support. My main point wasn't to shade anyone who's working on VR or anything, but really just about the stuff we're focused on now, and that's not part of the equation.
Cool. I mean, that kind of, for me, I already felt that that's what he was kind of saying, personally. Yep. But I mean, look, sure, clarification sometimes has happened, especially when the internet goes wild on Twitter. But I just don't see in the foreseeable future that Xbox is ever going to do that, especially now that PlayStation's obviously invested in it. I don't think it's been a smash out of the park for PlayStation. I do not believe that PlayStation VR has been, a new pillar in PlayStation for them. I think it's like a small thing,
It is, and they've just closed a number of VR studios as well, Sony.
Yeah,
so that's something.
I'm sure that Xbox is also looking on at Sony and going, well, we've seen your journey, and it hasn't really worked out great for you, so this is doubling down on our own thoughts of this is not what we need.
As much as I love VR, and I think it's great, and I do use it quite frequently actually, I also understand where Phil's coming from in the sense that, it's not quite there yet. And I don't think he's necessarily missing the boat at this point. I think it's still possible for him to jump on later if he wants to.
Sure.
They could even strike a deal with Oculus and
that's
say,
the thing.
Listen, we're just going to make it so you can plug your Oculus into your Xbox somehow, and that's it. So they don't need to do huge investments in new hardware and whatever else, and then they can start having VR games on their platform. It's a quick pivot for them if they wanted to go down that path, but if they wanted to make their own hardware, obviously it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, if they've got the install base of people, then they can easily do that later.
So guys, some super chats quickly. We got Dover Snake with 100 of those cool dollars that we don't know what they are. Sam's new channel is great. That's a lie.
Thank you.
Crazy Kate is solid. That's a lie. Added to my Spotify. Darren Taylor become a member. Thank you very much, Darren. Hey. This is innocuous remark, $5. Hey, Yong, big fan of your 1001 videos. Keep up the good work. Who's the other guy? Good question. Who is the other guy? I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is.
I don't know who that guy's. Yeah.
I don't. Alpha Kenny Body everyone. Okay. Don't know what that is. Maybe I said something terrible then.
That is.
Thank you very much for that, JD. And then there's also Diablos. I put 4 GZ in SWOTOR over 4 years, so the amount I put in Starter Season is equivalent. 4
GZ in so I'm not sure what that means, but that's
$4,000. Is that 4,000?
Maybe it's 4,000. Who knows?
Sure.
So 4 Gs. 4 Gs. $4,000.
$4,000 into SWOTOR over 4 years. What the hell? What are you spending your money on?
Well, I put $1,000, I reckon, into Hearthstone over 4 years. So I mean, that's not as much.
That's not as much, and it's also a completely different economy.
Yes. But do you want to do this, or do you want to just now stop this?
No, we'll do this, and then we'll stop, and then we'll do the thing. Sure. Okay. So our last story, guys. You know how we said that Cliffy B was was Randy Pitchford before Cliffy B was.
Yes.
We were more right than we thought, because it turns out that Cliffy B nearly made an Aliens game. Okay, so we could have had an Aliens game starring a grown-up newt set on Earth. It would have been from Cliffy B, so we could have had Aliens Colonial Marines combined with Cliff Bleszinski.
It could have been cool.
Imagine if that existed and Laymen was around then for the views.
It could have been
we
cool.
We would be at 60 million subscribers right at that point if
maybe
this happened,
it would have been as successful as Radical Heights.
It says, fun fact, before BKB shut down, we were in talks to do a new game with the Alien franchise with Fox, then Disney bought them, and that got lost in the shuffle. Darn it. Ripley would have been alive, and with your Cortana Anya, you play as grown newt on Earth. Wayland Yutani are weaponizing the aliens in Black Mesa-style facility, and of course, all hell breaks loose. Your robotic pal, i.e. Bishop, a new one named Casey after a doll in Aliens.
I think Cliffy, although he is, he's got an ego, like fine, he's very loud and proud about his achievements. He's a very talented developer,
sure.
With what he's done with
Lawbreakers was a great game.
Lawbreakers was objectively a fine game. There was nothing wrong with it. I just think it came around at the wrong time and people didn't have an appetite for it. But all in all, I think Cliffy does have talent for what he does. So if he ever did return in the future, that'd be kind of cool too.
For sure.
But look,
let's
stop. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I was going to let's stop this stream. I have not seen this yet.
Okay.
Guys, we're literally going to stop this and jump back on 5 seconds, and then we are going to watch the new Final Fantasy.
So stick around and maybe just refresh the page in like 1 minute's time, and we'll watch We're going to watch the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer, which I have seen because I played it for 3 hours this week. Sam, not the trailer, sorry, the opening cinematic. Sam has not seen it yet, so we're going to react to it. It's going to be a separate video from this so that YouTube doesn't demonetize us. Stick around, we'll be right back.
And we're back, ladies.